Hello, YouTube land. Welcome, Aries. So we're going to see what's going to go on today. Mercury is now retrograde, and I don't know, there's a lot of things going on out in the stars. Um, as I say, I am not an astrologer. I know a little bit about it, enough to be dangerous, as they say. Um, but mainly I channel information. I get information from my guides. I do use cards to also clarify things, etc. But if you've been here before, you know how it goes. If you like what you hear or whatever, um, click subscribe, like, make comments about things, hopefully positive things, and share with your friends. So let's get into it. Okay. See what's happening for the Aries collective. Today is today's the 11th, I believe. It is Sunday, August the 11th, 2024. I usually say this is, try to do it for like the week ahead or for Mercury retrograde time period. But Spirit has their own way of doing things, and they have a tendency to want to say things that are not necessarily within the time period that we're trying to look at right now. So first of all, let's look at the general energies for Aries, what it is that you're dealing with in general, and then we'll get into it. All right, Aries collective. What does the sign of Aries? And as usual, this is a general reading. Take what you like, leave the rest. If it applies to you, fine. If it doesn't, fine. So we'll see what's going to happen for Aries, whoever it is that is watching this. Okay. So we're trying to move forward here as far as your work is concerned. When cards come up connected to work, it's not always about money. It may be whatever it is that you're working on, right? I use knights as far as like the potential is concerned, what it is that they're doing. So this would tell me that Aries, it's like you're trying to move forward here as far as whatever it is that you're doing with your work, with whatever your plans are about. Um, and you could very well be in some sort of a relationship with somebody that is emotionally based. So this is somebody that's very grounded. This is somebody who's very emotional, right? It could very well be that as you're moving forward in whatever your plans are, whatever your work is, it could be an emotional situation as well. um, yeah, this feels like it's going to be more about whatever you're dealing with. I would say more so on a relationship level. All right. So the way that this is sitting here, right, is that twos are about relationships. This is Two of Wands is a lot about angst. It's dominion, one person trying to rule over another person, right? There's trying to be a give and take over here, right, in order to have some sort of a new beginning. Ace of Wands can bring up an entrepreneurial situation. It can also be about kids as well. Could be it's some sort of a new beginning, whatever the new beginning is. Could be related to your work, could be related to like a child, right? But the Seven of Wands would indicate that there is some sort of a conflict going on here and attempting resolution, right? The way that this is sitting here with the Five of Wands means that it's not necessarily like sorted out yet, right? Because the Five of Wands is a card that is about chaos, right? It's a lot about sorting things out. Um, what are your priorities about? And it looks like there can be some sort of resolution with this over the course of the next period of two. I would say probably more so over the course of the next 2 months, especially if you are looking to move, change your home. Four of Wands is a card that does represent stability. Some people use it as a finish line, but it's a four, it's not a 10, right? So some people use it for marriage, right? They want to call it um, completion because it's like this bow here and kind of crossing the finish line. So maybe it's that, but I use it for like changing home, right? Looking for stability around home, things like that. A lot of stuff here connected to chaos and conflict, a lot of ideas coming at you, right? Because this guy here, right? He's standing up on this rock or whatever, this mountain, and all these things coming at him. So there's a lot of conflict. There's a lot of things here that are still in a resolution, or looking to be resolved, right? The way that I read is that these cards are connected to the past. This is where you're at, and then this is where you're heading to, right? So past, present, future, right? So where you're coming from is over here. These two people, this situation, trying to have resolution. And whoever this person is over here doesn't necessarily mean that it is the person you're in a relationship with. It's just because, like I said, this is a general reading, right? So it shows here two different people. Um, and you could be either one, right? Um, but it does show two different people over here having conflict, trying to resolve it and trying to have sense of stability, things connected to home, stuff like that, right? And again, like angst, right? Um, and this card is interesting. Six of Pentacles is a card that is interesting because it is a card about gratitude, right? But in this particular case, it's like it makes me feel like somebody is kind of giving like breadcrumbs, right? It's like, oh, I'm going to give you like a little bit here, a little bit there, whatever, right? But I think that this is also something that has happened in the past because you do have the Six of Cups over here. The Six of Cups are things that are connected to the past, right? So I think this is the past relationship that you had dealt with, but to me, it looks like you're still holding on to things over here. And so you're trying to have a new beginning, but still stuck in the past, right? And so this is trying to have some sort of new emotional beginning around here, right? So as you're trying to sort this out, need to leave the past in the past and understand that whoever it is that you're dealing with now, right? This person is trying to have a sense of stability. They're trying to work things out, right? And your job is to not be stubborn, right? And this shows male and female, right? However, it's just energy, right? It's like if you're a female, you could be showing up in this card, and like whoever you're in a relationship with could be showing up in this card, right? Or you could be this person and the other one is this one, right? But this to me feels like there's somebody here who's being very stubborn and somebody who is ruled by their emotions, right? And trying to have more emotional sort of stability. And this is a kind of can be connected to outside influences too, right? People trying to tell you what to do, whatever, right? And it's like, leave the peanut gallery alone, right? Like This is something that you have to trust your instincts, right? Queen of Cups is about emotions, right? And Knight of Cups here is about emotions, right? So you're sitting here being stuck, but you're trying to become the Knight of Cups, right? So you're being stuck, but trying to move forward emotionally. So in order to get from here to here, there's a lot of things that have to be sorted out, but sort out between the two of you, not about all these other people here, right? All about like the peanut gallery type people, right? So, um, like I said, like leave the past in the past because there is this new beginning that is trying to happen here, right? And you're in a new relationship. So that's what this feels like. So I don't necessarily know that you could very well be trying to have a kid, but this makes me feel like you're trying to start this new relationship thing over here. But there's all these other people around here who are trying to, I don't know, to me, it makes me feel like people are trying to, maybe say like, oh, you're not ready. This person is this person is that, whatever, right? But this feels like this is a whole new thing that is trying to happen here and leaving the past behind. So that's what that is. Um, let's see if we can get some other information out here for you. Show us what needs to happen with Aries. Spirit is also telling me that with the Ace of Wands over here, right? The Ace of Wands is somebody that is independent, right? It's entrepreneurial based things, right? So if you're sitting here trying to have, or there's somebody here that you've been in this, whether it's off again, on again, kind of, whoever this relationship is, right? It doesn't necessarily make it bad, right? With the Ace of Wands over here, it can very much indicate somebody who is used to being independent, somebody who's used to being alone, right? Because the Ace of Wands is somebody that it's a one, right? So it's about the self. So um this is a situation where you're not going to be able to have your cake and eat it too, right? If you want to deal with other people, you can't have this person coming in and still have these other people on the side, right? And that is not um, just that's not just a platitude that we're talking about here. It's not about um, just morality, right? It's the way that the cards are showing up here, right? Um, because part of the Six of Cups can be connected to um, it can be connected to pleasure, right? And you have the Six of Pentacles up here about breadcrumbs, right? Kind of like, oh, I'm gonna just give like a little bit, I'm just gonna give a little bit, just gonna give a little bit, right? That's not gonna work, right? You if that's what it is that you're doing here, everybody is gonna lose out. You're gonna lose out, you're gonna be alone, because that's the Ace of Wands, right? Is that it's like you have to choose, right? You have to choose one life or the other. If you want to be in a relationship, you're going to have to leave one thing behind in order to move forward, right? This is a card, the Ace of the Two of Wands here, right? Twos are about relationships, right? But the Two of Wands is this guy here, and he wants to go out on this adventure, right? So a new relationship here is something that can be a relate is going to be an adventure. It's like let's go and look into other ways of being, other lands, other, and other lands is not necessarily about moving on, but it can be about, oh, I've been this player type person and used to stringing people along, but now there's this person here and they're coming across as being serious. They're coming across as like they're going to call me on my stuff, right? And like, so, and they're ruled by their emotions. So it's like they know that you're into them, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to deal with this like breadcrumbing and this breadcrumbing kind of thing here, right? So this new adventure here can be the experience of a relationship as opposed to like being a player. So whichever whichever one is kind of like doing this, take it for whatever end of the thing you're on. So let's see what else we have for like Aries people. See here, Aries, 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 collective, Aries, collective, Aries, collective. Ooh, that's funny. The Six of Pentacles is showing up again. So it's like, careful what you're doing, people. To the bottom of this one. Say new ideas. Ace of Swords is showing up on the bottom of this deck, the cards we just put out, right? So Ace of Swords is a card that has to do with new ideas, right? It's also about like cutting away, right? The Ace of Swords, it's a double-edged sword, right? So there are new ideas showing up here, but also epiphanies, like cutting away the crap kind of a thing, and you know, cutting away things that are no longer like useful for you. See, we have like these two cards here that fell out here. We have the King of Wands, which is Aries, right? And then we have like so the Queen of Cups here, right? That's usually ruled by like Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, right? Um, but it is in general, it's somebody that's ruled by their emotions, right? This we have the Taurus card here, right? But the Hierophant is about marriage, right? It is a card that's based in commitment. It's about um conformity, right? So when it shows up, it would tell me that questions about there can be questions that show up about um you know, religious differences, spiritual differences, stuff like that, right? But it's like there is this desire for um there's this desire for commitment, but also rebellion, right? Because you do have the Two of Wands over there, right? So you're gonna have to choose. And remember, right, this Seven of Wands over here, conflict, right? It's like other people telling you like what to do, what not to do, something like that, right? So if this is a relationship that you're looking for, right, and people in the family, in this other person's family, your family, whatever, telling you, oh, they're not, that can be part of the conflict, right? Is people telling you, oh, you have like spiritual differences, you have cultural differences, you have, these differences that are going on here, right? But apparently that is not mattering in this situation because this is two people that are trying to do something new, right? So it's really about leaving the drama outside, right? So What else is happening here? Well, let's put this over here. Hmm. See this King of Wands, he's looking backwards, right? And this Queen of Cups here, it's like this one, they're not dealing with the bullshit. So they're like, you're either gonna be here or you're not gonna be here, one or the other. So because this is like money, finances, things like that. This is a kind that can come up connected to real estate, property, things like that, right? It's about legacy, it's financial security, things like that, right? And then there's victory. So the two of you together, um, the two of you together are sitting here trying to make your mark on the world. There's victory around here. Um, and it's almost like you know it, but you're sitting here taking problems to bed with you at night, kind of torturing yourself. So um, there can also be differences here connected to um, you know, finances, because the ten of Pentacles here is kind of about like money, finances, things like that, right? Somebody who's like financially secure, right? And so there can be questions about, like somebody's, because the Hierophant card is also connected to education, right? So there can be differences in somebody's like educational status, right? Because the King of Wands, he's a king, right? So he's somebody that's in charge and whatever. And there's like education going on here, right? And somebody has like money, finances, right? So somebody that's made it. And so to me, this feels like there can be two different differences, right? So that doesn't necessarily mean that this other person doesn't have potential, right? So they may not necessarily have the same kind of education. That doesn't make them less than, right? Um, because there's some sort of attitude that goes on around here. There's Ace of Swords again, new ideas, right? Legal things on here. So there could be questions that show up here around some sort of like prenuptial thing, um, or also with Six of Cups showing up again twice in the same place. That's interesting. Um, with the Chariot card here, it is about moving forward, right? Um, but it is about trying to balance things as well, right? It's about standing up for yourself, standing up for your, um, you know, you standing up for your values, right? Not, and your values meaning about, this is the person that I want, and not necessarily what other people are talking about, right? So with the King of Swords here, it does bring up legal things, right? And sorting things out like legally. So this could be like planning on traveling. It can be things connected to home, right? Especially if one person has a home, and then this other person is moving in, then it can be a question about, oh, I'm being married to this person, and so does this person's name end up on the deed, on the on the mortgage, whatever, all of that kind of stuff, right? And that's going to be completely up to you, right? But this is something where you're looking at things for the long haul, right? And both of you kind of looking at things for the long haul. And like I said, if one of these people here has money, financial security and stuff like that, and then one person doesn't, then there can be questions that go on like this, right? But there's a lot of sorting things out, but it's something that you have to sort out on your own, not necessarily listening to these other people. It's like you're going to have to listen to your heart, right? Because these other people around here are creating an attitude, right? It's like this is a card that is, um, it's another card that can come up connected to conflict and stuff like that as well. So again, like trusting your emotions, sitting here, again, the house card, sitting here, right? A lot about learning lessons, right? And also, this is a card that is about, it's a card about like life lessons, right? And also, um, classes, training programs, things like that, right? Things that are connected to money, finances, right? So you may have education here about like how to deal with money, stuff like that. But this person that you're dealing with may also be like very good with money, but not necessarily having gone to school for it, right? And looking at how, because the Nine of Pentacles here is a card that has to do with like self-sufficiency, right? So to me, this feels like there's one person here that has money and what, financial security, all that kind of stuff, right? Like maybe like a lot of money, right? But this other person here, they don't feel like they're really interested in your money, because it feels like they have learned how to manage their own money and it feels like somebody here has gone through like a lot of crap, right? Like the school of hard knocks, whatever, and they're getting ahead and maybe they want to go to school, stuff like that, whatever, right? Want to take classes around things, whatever, right? In order to become like self-sufficient themselves, right? So it's like they're not really looking for your money. Um, they're kind of being okay on their own, right? So there's a king, there's a page, right? So again, you may be in two different places in your life, but this oh, this is somebody here who has a lot of potential. So there's new emotions coming up around here. Again, like balance, periods of transition, another card, justice. So again, legal things connected to home, right? Communication, talking to lawyers about things. Um, and again, we're in this period here of Mercury retrograde, right? This is about redoing things, renegotiating, re whatever. Right. But so the Three of Swords is a card that does show up connected to the retrograde, right? So this can be a period where this may not be the best time to be making decisions, right? Could be making decisions, putting energy into things like after the retrograde, right? So, because this is a card, the Three of Swords represents the retrograde, but it's also a card that can be an imbalance between the head and the heart, right? And trying not to like rush forward with things, right? Because the Knight of Wands, he's somebody that's very aggressive. He's somebody that um he's somebody that can be having like a lot of like sexual energy, stuff like that, a lot of frustration, whatever, all of that kind of stuff is connected to the Knight of Wands, right? But again, we have like kings, we have like knights, pages, right? So this really makes me feel like there are people around here who people who are either different ages or different places in their life, different financial status, things like that, right? And but this makes me feel like it makes me feel like you have to remember where it is that you come from, right? Because you have this night, right, where you're putting your energy, right, and you want to be youthful, things like that, right? And again, we have the Six of Cups here, which is kind of the past, right? So part of this is like remembering where you come from, right? Remembering mistakes that you made along the way, right? And how much you had to do in order to get ahead to be where you are. Um, the struggles that you have, the struggles that this other person has, they could be different kinds of struggles, but they're still struggles, right? So this to me feels like the two of you are coming together really against all odds. And but it really feels to me like this is like something that can happen. It feels like it's something that's going to turn out in a really positive way, but like the like attitudes, fears, like things like that, right? All that kind of drama really has to be like put aside and kind of paying attention to your emotions because you do have the Ace of Cups here, right? So it's some sort of like new emotional beginning that is trying to happen here, right? Queen of Swords says to be clear, there's a lot of healing here, taking time out, right? You may need to have a vacation, right? This is about usually it has to do with taking time out, usually a 4 week time period, right? So it's literally saying like the end of the retrograde, right? And then things will be able to move forward, moving forward into calmer waters, things like that. So Queen of Swords just says like to be clear about what it is that you want. She's someone who is ruled by she's ruled by Athena, so it is about she's a goddess of war, but it's more like strategy, right? So planning your strategy around like healing, temperance, right? Um, Temperance is kind of about alchemy, right? So both of you going through these like changes, right? And I feel like you yourself are going through a lot of changes, a lot of healing that is happening connected to this relationship, right? So I feel like this person is coming in around you really in order to like change your heart around here. It feels like there's a lot of spiritual activity going on around here, trying to help you to, I want to say, to evolve emotionally, spiritually, in a lot of ways, right? Um, and just a lot about like letting go of a lot of drama and like you could look at I'm I'm watching this thing play out in my head about you can pay attention to all the evils in the world, right? But this is between you and whoever it is that you're in a relationship with, right? The other star card at the bottom of this deck, right? Star card is like your goals, dreams, and aspirations, right? It's like following true north, as they say. I don't use that. I don't use this for that, but the star card is connected to the strength card, right? There's 8 stars here. Um, and it is another card about balance, right? The two cups, the land and the water, right? Same as this, the land and the water, right? More cups, right? So it's still all the stuff that has to do with like balance, right? And going through this period of transformation. So I think that whoever this person is that is coming in around your life, I think that they're transforming you in a lot of ways that are like more about like healing and balance and in a lot of ways like saving your soul. That's what spirit says. So that's what we're looking at here. So so Here's saying these are just kind of questions that we're bringing up here for you to answer, right? But like we don't have the world card here, right? But um I keep getting this thing here, right? Because the two of wands up there, that guy has the world in his hand. This is usually kind of travel across water. I keep getting this thing about, and then you have the four of wands here, right? Which is a card about home, stuff like that. This could very well be people who are from two different countries or planning on moving to a different country. Um, because it definitely makes me feel like there is some sort of movement or travel plans trying to happen, whether it is travel to a different country. Um, there's a lot of things here that are suggesting that. And it's something that I operate as an empath, so I feel things, and that's what spirit is making me feel, is that this is really something where you could very well be going to a different country, right? And learning how to get along, be financially secure in another country. So, um, something where your education may not necessarily matter, right? Maybe this other person knows how to get along in that other country if they're from the country, and that's the country that you're planning on moving to, then they could know the ins and outs of that place. So, or even if you're going to like another country that doesn't have to do with either one of you. I mean, Yeah. Anyway, things are definitely moving forward here. They are moving in a better direction, right? Things are definitely becoming like better for you in your life. This makes me feel like there's been a lot of drama that has gone on around your life over the course of the last 5 years, and things trying to improve since January, right? So allow yourself to move forward here, right? Like leave all the drama behind you because it no longer applies. If you want to evolve, if you want to, what they say, like do better, be better, et cetera, et cetera. Like your heart is sitting here trying to open, and so spirits are saying, like, let it happen. So anyway, that's what we could talk about for today. Um, Good luck with all of that, as we say. So again, if you like what you hear, click like, subscribe, share. Right? Thank you.